Audi released the A1 hatchback in 2010. It looked good, had plenty of toys and the right badge on its nose, but there was a problem. You see, the most powerful A1 you could get had 180 horsepower. Now that was enough to keep it in line with, say, the Skoda Fabia VRS, the VW Polo GTI and the Seat Ibiza Cupra, but it wasn't enough to warrant an S badge. No, that badge is given to the cars that have enough grunt to make them truly stand out from the crowd. 4 years on, Audi has finally given the A1 the grunt it needs to become a full-fat S1. It's got a 231 brake horsepower 2-litre turbocharged engine and four-wheel drive. It's also proved me wrong. In 2013, I was lucky enough to drive the super rare Audi A1 Quattro. Only 333 were ever made. They all came with four-wheel drive, only in left-hand drive. They had about 250 horsepower and looks to kill. It was absolutely stunning, but if anyone ever asked me whether, oh, is that the new S1? Well, the answer was no, because, well, the new S1 would definitely have a lot less power and it would definitely not have four-wheel drive. It would be front-wheel drive only, and it would have a sensible price tag because the A1 Quattro cost 40 grand. And it looks like I was quite wrong. Yes, it has a bit less power, but you get more torque than the A1 Quattro, 273 pound-foot to the rare car's 258. The minor power difference does mean the S1's 5.8 second 0 to 62 dash is 0.1 of a second slower, but are you really gonna notice? Then there's the front-wheel drive thing. The S1 comes with a Haldex four-wheel drive system, which is a good thing. I was also wrong about the price. The basic S1, the three-door, is about £24,000. Add around £1,000 on top of that for the five-door Sportback. That's not too bad for a small, very fast Audi. It's about half the price of the A1 Quattro itself. However, if you're going to buy a shiny new Audi, you're going to want to put toys on it. Things like a Bose sound system, parking sensors, jazzy alloys. You can even have your brake calipers painted red. It's around 300 quid. You can quite easily push the price of one of these well above 30 grand. Then there's the small matter of its name, S1. Rally fans will know that there was a pretty well-known rally car called the Audi S1, and it was awesome. But this is no relation. It's an S version of the Audi A1, nothing more, nothing less. I loved my time with the A1 Quattro. That much power in such a small package was just bewitching. I would have put the money down any day of the week if I had it. So, how does its mass-produced sibling fare in comparison? It's really, really good. It's really, 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 really good. It's just like the A1 Quattro, but a little bit more user-friendly. For example, in the UK, you can have one with a steering wheel on the correct side. Speaking of the steering, a lot of people have a go at Audi because, oh, it's always numb, blah, 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 blah. It's not the most feedback-tacular steering I've ever experienced, but it's not bad. I always know what the wheels are doing, which is kind of the point of it. One of the really good things about this is the gearbox. It's nice, it's smooth, it's easy to use, it's got a light-ish, not too light, but not too heavy clutch attached to it. So it's just lovely to shift gears, something you'll want to do over and over and over and over again to get wave after wave of all that delicious turbo boosty torque. And something even cooler about the gearbox is that you can only have one of these in a manual. You can't buy an automatic S1. How good is that? They've made a proper little driver's car. The brakes on this are pretty spectacular, if I'm honest. They haven't got that much to stop, admittedly, but the speed it gets up to, oh my, it's one of those things that's quite difficult to describe, because the last time I drove a normal A1, it had about 120 horsepower or something like that, and it was alright. You had to give it a little bit to get it going, and once you were there it was nice, it was easy, it ebbed and flowed and it was all lovely. But this, you nail it from rest, you get up to about 2,500 RPM and then you get that big push and it flings you down the road just as any big Audi does. But you can't put that kind of power into something that doesn't feel or handle particularly nice, and this is where the S1's party piece comes in. Because it's got a tiny wheelbase and four-wheel drive, it feels the right side of fun at any given moment. You can be hurling it round corners and you know it'll catch you. It can move around under you a little bit if you're really giving it some, but nothing too extreme. you know there's that safety net, and what that encourages you to do is just have more fun. And the noise inside the cabin is great. It's an angry, burbly, shouty little thing, just begging you to drive faster, drive harder, take that corner just a little bit quicker. It's taken the best bits of the A1 Quattro and the best bits of lots of other awesome hot hatches and some fast Audis and condensed it into easily swallowable pill form. It's a great car to look at too. Audi have made sure the S1 does look like a proper S-car, so there's extra vents and there's 4 exhausts on the back. 4 exhausts on a tiny car. Tiny car, big power equals fun. Here's the thing, the S1 is a really good little car. It feels just right where it needs to. I wouldn't say it's a hot hatch though, but maybe a Hyperhatch. Still, if I drop 40k on an A1 Quattro, I might be a little knocked off, but when you remember that you've got all sorts of kick-ass stuff on the A1 that you really can't get on the S1, the wound is all of a sudden a little less salty. Also, it's a touch quicker, so you've still got top trumps on your side. What Audi's done with the S1 is create something truly wonderful. It's managed to distill all the good bits of a fast Audi into a small car that's brilliant to drive, wickedly noisy, and is confidence-inspiring in the hands of those who might not be all that sure about driving quickly. I mean, yeah, if you press the want button on just about everything, it can get a little bit expensive, but for the experience, what's a few quid?